Hi everybody, and welcome to another video from my channel. One thing you will probably notice is that this one is being narrated in a different language other than my native tongue, which is Portuguese. And the person who is responsible for that is my good friend from down under, who goes by the jolly pirate name of Sci-Fi. This one's for you, pal. Okay, so first things first, I have to say that my path first crossed Sci's path when I watched one of his videos in which he was defending another Australian YouTuber, Usual Mike. Well, apparently, when we achieve a certain level of notoriety and fame, haters will spawn from everywhere. And pretty much that's what happened to Mike. People started saying things that they really shouldn't be saying that about him. What I found particularly interesting is that Sci was defending him, and he was pulling no punches while doing so. He was uncompromising, and he was basically resonating with me. Everything that he was saying, I totally agreed with him, and I thought this is exactly why I started uploading videos to the internet for. This is exactly the type of person that I actually agree with him 100%. Okay, so pretty much that's what happened when I started in last August sharing videos of my collection, whether if I was doing reviews or if I was commenting, unboxing action figures, starting with Star Wars, of course, but then expanding to other territories, other mythologies, other, franchises. So basically, that's what got me started. The sense of belonging to a community, the sense of sharing, and the notion that all around the world, there are people who are interested in the same type of things that I really am. Interestingly enough, so I commented on Sci's video, and he responded. He actually answered, and we started developing this communication, and surprisingly enough, he subscribed my YouTube channel, even though it's in Portuguese, which I think is a huge testament to the validity of the things that we are doing right here. So it's not a question of language barrier, it's a question of liking what we do, it's a question of liking action figures, loving Star Wars, loving other franchises, and basically reaching out to other people who have common interests as we do. Okay, so enough about this, let's talk shop over here for a little bit. So what I bring to you right now is going to be another Battle of the Figures video in which I take two different figures from two completely different franchises and then try to compare them one to another, and hopefully we will reach a verdict, we will reach a conclusion, and perhaps understand that although these hail from very different and distinct universes, they might not be as different as first we thought. Okay, so imagine we are going to a wrestling match or MMA match or whatever, and the MC usually pronounces the expression, "Let's get ready to rumble." On this corner, who we have here, I should say, is none other than Conan the Barbarian. So this statue, I can't even call it an action figure because it does not have any type of articulation, is from NECA, and it depicts none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Milius' film from 1982, Conan the Barbarian. So this character hails from the imagination of Robert E. Howard, and he was a barbarian, as the name tells us. So he is sporting his gladiator attire here. At this stage in the film, he was still a gladiator, he was still a slave, he was forced by his master to battle other gladiators. You can see the detail is very, very accurate. You can even see the face of Arnold Schwarzenegger over here with a scowl on his face. Okay, he is sporting two blades. I don't know if you can notice or not, but they are drenched in blood. Okay, and these two battle axes are removable. They are. Okay, a little bit of detail. Yeah, here we go. And then there's this base with a shield and this symbol, which is the symbol that he displays whenever he enters a gladiatorial match. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's the same symbol that he sports on his necklace. Okay, so the paint applications are very good. He seems to have these little smudges and spots all over his body, indicating that he has recently been in battle. So there are specks of blood on the blades, on his hands and on his forearms too. Okay, and his elbow, he's got a hidden blades. Okay, here he's got traditional boots, and you can even see the detail of his big vein crossing through his bicep over here. Okay, no articulation whatsoever, but a remarkable figure nonetheless. And on the other corner of our imaginary ringside, we have none other than Lo'Gosh. And who is Lo'Gosh? I must confess I had to visit the World of Warcraft wiki because I'm not a gamer myself, but I do enjoy the whole fantasy universe, fantasy and sci-fi, of course. And what transpires is that the gentleman from Blizzard, which is the company responsible for this series of games, they have developed, I wouldn't say from scratch, because whenever we're thinking about fantasy, immediately the name Tolkien comes to our minds. So I'm sure they've had influence from the master, the Old Father, but what happens is that they have developed a whole universe which is quite believable for me. As I said before, I'm not a gamer myself, but I did enjoy the film, the World of Warcraft film, which was titled The Beginning. It's from 2016 and it's by Duncan Jones. It starred Travis Fimmel, Dominic Cooper, and Paula Patton, and Ben Foster too. Okay, and it wasn't very well. So critics didn't really enjoy it all that much. The reviews weren't that good, and the public, it came kind of lacking in terms of the immediate results that the movie, the producers and the studio was expecting. But all things considered, it earned over $400 million worldwide. So that's no failure whatsoever, okay? So, but going back to the character, Lo'Gosh, also known as Ghost Wolf, was in fact called Varian Wrynn, and he is the son of Lane Wrynn, who was the king of Stormwind. We see him in the film, in Warcraft: The Beginning. At the time, this character was only a small child, so the story developed. So, in terms of a comparison, he is much bulkier than Conan the Barbarian, but he sports kind of the similar attire, okay? So, his clothes have been well worn, so they're ripped, okay? The pants are ripped. You have the small seams over here, as if it were some kind of leather. So he's also seen battle. We've seen him wounded at the shoulder, and his stance is so heroic with the double-bladed, double swords over here filled with, which I presume would be orc blood. And we've got tiny pieces of chains that attest to the fact that at this time he was also enslaved by the orcs, and he was a gladiator himself. So as you see, there are several similarities between these two characters. For me, if I were to place a verdict over here, I would have to go with Conan the Barbarian as the winner, because basically this film represented a very, very, very strong influence when I was growing up. And just a bit of trivia, John Milius, who was the director of Conan the Barbarian, studied in the same place at the same time as George Lucas. I'm talking about the University of Southern California, USC. So basically they were classmates. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but if you do or you don't, leave a comment down below. It's been a blast. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Linguistic barriers aside, there's a reason why I chose to record my videos in Portuguese. It's obviously because it's my mother tongue, so it's the language in which I feel most comfortable with. And besides that, there are just so many people reviewing products, action figures, play sets, vehicles in English, and not so many doing so in Portuguese. Okay, I hope you've all enjoyed it. As I've said before, if you have, please leave a comment downside. Si, this one's for you, pal. The world is a much better place with you on it. Okay, take care. Cheers, mate. Everybody, I will see you soon.